When I got out of engineering, I wanted to get into management. But when I got into management, I said I don't want to totally leave my technical area. I mean, the campus was fairly away from the city. Every 3 months there's a test, and then even within those 3 months, you have projects and submissions and quizzes and all those things.
I remember calling my mother before the first semester's exam and saying, Mummy, I don't think I'll pass the exam. I think I might have to come back.
So, luckily or unluckily, I got into an FMCG place right early in the first couple of days. I don't want to sell soap and stuff like that.
We usually expect much more than what's needed.
यहाँ तो मतलब सभी ज्यादा उस्ताद है हमसे.
And Ranjit, how was Lucknow? Did you enjoy the city itself?
The city itself, I mean, the campus was fairly away from the city, like most times, I think, at that time. Now, I think, now we went for our 25th reunion a few years back, and it was all kind of, you don't realize when it comes. But at that time, there was a special bus to go from off campus office. There was an office kind of in Aliganj, and then there's a bus. So Lucknow on its own was kind of not as big a city as it is now. It was still the capital of Uttar Pradesh. Nothing compared to like a Mumbai or a Delhi or even Kolkata or a Bangalore. Most of our time was spent on the campus, and because the campus was so far away from the actual city, it was largely weekends in Lucknow city, and most of it in for eating, for watching movies, for general malling and ganjing, we used to call it in Hazratganj, and that was the basically the shopping area and general cool area. So Saturdays, Sundays was there if there were no assignments and things like that. Obviously that IIM is filled with all these things, right, all through your semester. So city itself was nothing great, honestly, if you ask me at that
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I think the same experience I had with Bangalore from 1998 to 2000.
Definitely, and that was my experience as well. Because even in engineering, it's what basically every 6 months you have one semester exam,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
all it is. Two times a year, that's it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there are, for namesake, some lab tests and all, but largely it's the
Yes.
every 6 month thing that matters. And
Yes.
you have trimesters every year, and
Yes.
then every 3 months there's a test, and then even within those 3 months you have projects and submissions and quizzes and all those things.
And there
So
were even midterms in some of my classes. So I
yeah,
had to apply myself so much more. Yeah.
yes. In fact, in the
Yes.
first year, a lot of people kind of felt that I don't know where we are going to complete this
Yeah.
course well,
Yeah.
And these were
No,
all fairly bright people. I mean, people
yeah.
who had gone
Yeah. Yeah.
to engineering
Yeah.
college or SRCC, as you said, or in
Yes.
IIT,
Yes.
like that.
Yes. No, I remember calling my mother before the first semester's exam and saying, Mummy, I don't think I'll pass the exam. I think I might have to come back.
Yeah,
And
right.
I think that's another learning. And then I ended up ranking very high. I think we usually expect much more than what's needed. Like just
Yes.
showing up and doing the work most times is enough in life.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when you get into IIM from your college, you are on a high because you feel that
Yes.
okay, very few people get into it, right? So you are among those people who everyone in engineering college is like, okay, great, great, you got into IIM, this and all.
Yeah.
But when you
Yeah.
get into IIM, you get grounded immediately in the first 3 months because everyone around you is bright
Yes.
and you're wondering कि यार ये C मिलेगा इस time या B मिलेगा या whatever, how to avoid that,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
that's a real grounding experience you get in the first 3 4 months कि
Yeah.
यहाँ
Yeah.
तो मतलब सभी ज़्यादा उस्ताद है हमसे.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that I think is also a big advantage of going there.
Now let's move on beyond IIM. So, did you sit for your placements on campus or no?
Yes, I did. My first job was with actually an FMCG company,
Okay.
with ICI Paints. That was my first job. I
Okay.
joined them as a management trainee. It's kind of funny that when I got out of engineering, I wanted to get into management. But when I got into management, I said I don't want to totally leave my technical area. I don't want to sell soap and
Yeah.
stuff like
Great.
that,
Yeah.
paint and soap. It is very funny because it
Yeah.
makes you realize what is it. You're confused, right? You're 20 years old,
So,
21, 22, and you have to decide. So in the rush of things, everyone says get into FMCG. So yeah, why not? So I appeared for all those interviews, but my primary interest was to get into tech in a management role or in a marketing kind of a role.
97 में तो Infosys would have been hiring, and all those people
Exactly.
who got in there, and if they've stuck on, वो तो मतलब
Yeah.
मल्टी करोड़पति होंगे ना.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल और but I think what happens is you have this weekly placement, right? Placement week in IIMs at least then. And then most of the funds come early are the finance and consulting and marketing companies, and the tech companies typically get their slots later. So luckily or unluckily, I got into an FMCG place right early in the first couple of days, I think. And then they had this, I think, rule or something which said that okay, now you need to choose this, or you kind of opt out of placement. So I didn't actually get to the IT part at all, basically. So that's where I decided, okay, let me start here, and then I'll figure out as things come. And pretty soon, actually, in a couple of years, I left that field and got into tech and tech consulting.
I'm saying how long did you stay in ICI Paint?
I worked with ICI for less than 2 years, and actually, I was with a startup. I actually started my own company after that. That was in 1999. That's when I got into the startup.com bug, and I started my own company. I think Wix was asking which company. Then I moved. Then I actually moved to Bangalore, and I joined Oracle here.